Hello, my name is Sharoline Galva. I am a graphic designer for the podcast production company Crackers and Soup. I've been working in the graphic design industry for well over 12 years now. I got my start in high school, just like you guys did, with the opportunity to go to a vocational school and learn my graphic design skill sets. I had the ability to have access to this equipment and people who were so knowledgeable in this industry. And I was so grateful because it's provided this freedom that I have now. Freedom to be able to work from anywhere, to work remotely, to be able to produce pieces of artwork, both editorial as well as for small businesses and for minority women, which has been my biggest pride, to be able to say that I'm helping women who, like me, at the time had no knowledge or no ability or access to information and things that could change their lives and uplift their lives. So I'm so excited to introduce you guys to a world of graphic designing in podcasting and how it plays a really important role. I joined a podcast production company because of just the fact that you can help so many people who before felt like they didn't have a voice and their voice didn't matter, have one. The opportunity, the fact that anyone basically can create a podcast, and being able to help these women realize that their voices matter, what they have and what they're trying to say matters, rather than just having a big label or a big company, back you and then tell you you can only, say these certain things or talk about these certain topics. The fact that you now can actually do all of this, reach as many people as possible, all on your own, without a big company telling you what to do, is amazing. People always think, oh, well, my life isn't that great. Like, there was nothing special about it. I don't need anybody, nobody's really gonna listen to me. It's so not true. It's so not true. The number of women who will resonate with the stories that you have, the things that you've been through in life, the things that you want to teach, the things that you want to entertain with, you'd be so surprised. And the fact is that you can actually really reach that audience. All you have to do is create a podcast. And we have helped so many minority women, and it's so important to me because I myself am a minority. I was born in the Dominican Republic. I came to the United States when I was 7, so I got put into the education system and I was so blessed, but not everybody in my family was. And so I do my best to constantly be able to provide knowledge and anything I've learned and pass it along so that every woman, especially minority women, know the opportunities that they can have once they learn these skill sets that can help them work remotely, that can help them make more money regardless of where they are, that can just so many transferable skills, so that if you do want a career, just getting started on your own with these things will help you if you want to work for a big corporate company or whether you want to work by yourself. If you're looking to inspire and inspire others, I think influencing, working as an influencer is probably one of the best ways to do it. The reason I say that is social media is free. It's free. And with social media being free, you can reach as many people as possible through your stories and through using different mediums. So not just podcasting alone, because you then can take your podcast and grow it through social media. Being an influencer and how to sort of get started with that is the biggest tip I'll tell you is be authentically yourself. Nobody wants to follow someone who they feel is being fake, who they feel is playing a role that they're trying to fit. People can see right through that. So it's so important to be authentically yourself and have a story and something that you're passionate about that you want to share with others. When you are authentic and passionate, it shows and people gravitate towards you. So you want to make sure that first, you're authentic. Second, you're talking about something that you're extremely passionate about. And third is understanding, don't get so caught up in algorithms. Algorithms consistently change, so it's difficult. The only thing that you want to worry about when it comes to how to beat the algorithm is produce quality content and be consistent with it. Because if you're producing quality content, which again will come if you're being authentic and passionate about what you want to talk about, the last one is just making sure you're constantly posting. You don't want to post 1 week for a day or 2 or 3 and then not do that again the next day. Whether you can post at least once a day or create sort of a schedule for yourself where you're at least posting, 4 to 5 times a week. And then on top of that, you want to make sure you're always creating content that's going to intrigue others through your passions. So the best thing is if you're passionate about something, whether it's fashion, whether it's a specific subject in school, whether it's a video game, whether it's what you're learning through graphic design, a journey you're going through, you can think, what questions did you have when you started? Or what questions do you get asked the most? And from there, create content from it. And be honest with your story and be transparent, whether it was through your struggles or, things that you found out along the way of that journey. So that's definitely, I would say, the most important part of being an influencer and how to start that and get that. As well, of course, even if you don't have the best camera, the best quality sound, don't worry about it. You creating quality content matters most, especially in the beginning. I hope that helps. I would say the most rewarding part of helping minority women find their voice in this industry is seeing them thrive. Genuinely, seeing someone who didn't know something was possible or didn't think that their voice mattered and showing them how important that is, that their voice does matter, that they are able to change, even if it's just one person's life. When you get that one comment that tells you, oh my God, thank you so much, this helped me through blank, blank, blank. You have no idea how fulfilling that feels. The fact that you're able to serve and help others in a non-typical way, guiding them, helping them reach an audience that's going to be so faithful to them because of the fact that they've resonated with who that person is and what their story is. For me, being a minority myself, with privilege even then, my biggest thing has been making sure that that little girl that I was, that had no idea what she was doing or how she could possibly get to do things like traveling, have a savings account, things that I know my mother herself struggled with. And knowing now that I'm able to do all of those things because of the skill sets that I've learned. And all I want to do is share that with all the other minority women who don't have the opportunity or don't have someone who's knowledgeable enough to teach them. Because I know my mother, she worked so hard and I love her so much for it, but she just didn't understand. She moved us to this brand new country where it was a completely different system. And being able to build wealth, especially generational wealth, wasn't something that she knew how to do. And the fact that I've had the opportunities and the ability to learn those things, I want to teach every minority woman I can about the same thing. So for me, it's definitely the most rewarding. And to see, people's podcasts thrive, and how that podcast thriving has also helped their own coaching business or their own service-based business. That's definitely one of my favorite aspects. And we've had so many clients that have come to us and they're just like, you have no idea what you've done for me, and how I'm now reaching out to people and people are just so grateful. Even with our own podcast, we just did it as a supplement to the business to help bring in, like, to use it as marketing for our business. And we had so many women reaching out and commenting to us, letting us know, how much us introducing them to other women who are doing amazing things has motivated their lives, how they're starting their own new businesses and they're looking forward to starting a podcast themselves because of it. It's for so many people, I think the most difficult part of podcasting is finding your voice, finding that creativity, your branding. I primarily work on branding. However, branding and finding your voice are genuinely very melded together, because I can't create, as a graphic designer, I cannot create a brand for you if you still don't know who you are, if you don't know what your company or podcast should look like. So I usually use a series of questions that fall very deep into, like, who's your audience? And I'm not talking about like, oh, they're 15 years old and they, they're females. No, I'm talking deeper. If you were to think of one person you wanted to speak to, that you wanted to reach, let's say you're like, oh, you know what? It's my best friend. My best friend, she's 17. She loves K-pop. She, is into spirituality and does all of these specific things. That's how deep you want to get. You want to get to, like, what that person loves to wear, what they look like, what they sound like, what are their favorite hobbies. When you get down to that, you understand who your target audience is and who you're trying to talk to. And then on top of that, with branding, you want to know, what colors do you feel resonates with you and your company. I wouldn't worry as much about, oh, my favorite color is hot pink and I just want to use my favorite color. I wouldn't always go that route. Find colors that feel good to you. If it is your favorite color and your favorite color feels good to you, then perfect. But if it's not that, you want to mess around and look at a few, and you want to create brand boards. I love creating brand boards, mood boards, because essentially what that is that you start laying out, like, images of things and aesthetics that you like, and that helps build your brand. But then you also want to make sure that that brand resonates with the audience that you're trying to reach, because you don't want a brand that looks like an old lady when you're trying to reach youth. So you always want to make sure those things connect. And I also like to get to know the person. I like to get to know why. Why do you want to start a podcast to begin with? Who are you trying to reach? Why are you trying to reach them? And if it's as simple if they just tell me, like, oh, well, it's to help my business. Well, okay, if it's to help your business, then what does your business do to help people? Okay, all right, so you're a coach. You're a coach that helps other women find the confidence to build a business and start a business on their own. Why did you start that? Why do you want them to start their own businesses? Oh, because you want them to be financially free and independent. Awesome. What does financial independence bring? It brings freedom and the ability for women to make their own choices, because you know yourself that you were restricted most of your life and now you want to be free from the reins of anyone else. Perfect. That is amazing. Now we find your why. We find your why, and that builds on everything. I think it's so important to understand who a person is and what they want, so that you can build them. You can build their brand, so that by the time that they finish, I will tell you, the biggest pride I get from when I finish a design is a client literally telling me, oh my God, you see me. This is so scary. And they start crying and they're like, this is it. This is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly the logo I wanted. This is exactly how I wanted my website to look. This is exactly how I wanted my podcast cover to look. And they now feel that it resonates with them so much. Why? Because we got into the deeper aspect. It wasn't just like, oh, what's your favorite color? Okay, you want it to have hearts? And no, we find the deeper why and we make sure that it makes sense. Because that's the most important thing, is your why. Being my own boss, where I can choose the clients. Because here's the thing, here's the number one thing. When you become your own boss, it's a lot of work. I'm not going to lie to you, it is. But because now you have to be the one to motivate yourself. But the biggest thing is being able to decide who you want to work with. Because you don't just take in every single client that comes your way because you need money. You take the clients that resonate with you. The clients that are aligned with why you started your own business. The clients that have similar views to you. When you do that, and also whose stories you resonate with. Because when you do that, you'd be so amazed at how happy you are with every piece of work that you create. Because it's so fulfilling. That person is so happy. And you feel good about helping someone who's also doing something good. And it truly is, I always say, I tell my clients all the time, I'm like, it's purely selfish. I want to make sure I understand you so well so that when you see that piece of work, that first draft I get you, you're just like, oh my God, yes. You can envision your entire company coming to life and everything just through this new logo that I created. Or your podcast through this simple Facebook, cover artwork that was created. It's genuinely, it truly is selfish, but it's so rewarding to be able to pick your own clients and create your own schedule. Sometimes it requires me to work more than I would like to, but it's also finding a way to create a balance. And it's so rewarding. It's a lot of work, but it's so rewarding at the end of the day. Being my own boss, where I can choose the clients. Because here's the thing, here's the number one thing. When you become your own boss, it's a lot of work. I'm not going to lie to you, it is. But because now you have to be the one to motivate yourself. But the biggest thing is being able to decide who you want to work with. Because you don't just take in every single client that comes your way because you need money. You take the clients that resonate with you. The clients that are aligned with why you started your own business. The clients that have similar views to you. When you do that, and also whose stories you resonate with. Because when you do that, you'd be so amazed at how happy you are with every piece of work that you create. Because it's so fulfilling. That person is so happy. And you feel good about helping someone who's also doing something good. And it truly is, I always say, I tell my clients all the time, I'm like, it's purely selfish. I want to make sure I understand you so well so that when you see that piece of work, that first draft I get you, you're just like, oh my God, yes. You can envision your entire company coming to life and everything just through this new logo that I created. Or your podcast through this simple Facebook, cover artwork that was created. It's genuinely, it truly is selfish, but it's so rewarding to be able to pick your own clients and create your own schedule. Sometimes it requires me to work more than I would like to, but it's also finding a way to create a balance. And it's so rewarding. It's a lot of work, but it's so rewarding at the end of the day. The number one thing that I will advise women and men if they want to be an entrepreneur is do the research. Find people who are willing to mentor, someone that you can shadow under, someone who will show you the ropes, because find someone who's where they want to be and just reach out to them. You'd be so surprised how someone is willing to mentor you if you reached out and tell them, hey, this is what I want to do. This is, what you're doing right now. I want to be there in 5 years. Would you help me? And you'd be surprised at how many people are so receptive to that. And on top of that, just be genuine yourself. Find something that you love to do. Because when you genuinely love to do something, it makes the work that much more rewarding. It makes those long hours that you sometimes have to go through so much more rewarding. And for me, it's the ability to help my family, to, educate others in the things that I've learned. So find a mentor, which I'm hoping with this, if one of you guys want to be mentored, I'd be more than happy to do so. Reach out to me. Reach out to anyone who's doing what you want to do.